Gentlemen, gentlewomen, gentle animals, whatever you identify as. What if Young Bucks never left TNA? I pose this question to you in the first episode of the second Turnbuckle Wrestling Podcast What If series. I am joined here today with the captain.
Hello, hello, hello.
And the champ.
Mr. Beslo Dallas. Thank you for introducing me, and I'm glad to be here. This is a very interesting concept, brilliant headcanon from the sponsor of the second Turnbuckle Podcast.
Of course.
The top guy himself.
The top guy. And that's me, by the way. And I'm just pulling up some research here, you know, because we're actually doing a research this season.
You got to get our info right. I mean, it's not like a majority of our info has been wrong, but
so I looked up
half of the wiki page up.
Yeah, so I looked up the Young Bucks and I pulled up Young Buck. No, Young Buck. G-Unit Young Buck or Cash Money Young Buck. Okay.
No.
That Young Buck. So, as we know, the Young Bucks in 2020, they have become incredibly successful. They are the executive vice president of All Elite Wrestling, and they also serve as in-ring talents for the company. The Young Bucks are best known for their work in New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor, and their use of the super kick, dubbed the super kick parties, are also extremely great at high flying. But a lot of people don't know that their independent career started most notably in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla here in California, and to the national wrestling community as Generation Me in Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, also known as TNA. Bro.
And they've been everywhere. If you look in their championships and accomplishments section on their wiki page, it goes for a solid, like, half page.
I mean, they're absolutely decorated champions.
Yeah.
They're amazing wrestlers.
DT,
and
they've won the AAA tag titles. They've won several different titles in New Japan.
I really wish they did a little bit more with the AAA titles.
Yeah. Here's something I didn't know. In 2018, Nick Jackson was ranked 38 out of 500 in the PWI 500, and Matt was ranked 40.
Oh, damn.
Who came between them?
And they were Tag Team of the Year in 2017 and 2018.
Who came between them, though?
I don't know. That's a good question. Let me find out.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you not put one at, like, 38 and 39?
I feel like they're so... Those two are so ingrained in each other's careers, it should have just been one pick.
Right.
Should have just said the Young Bucks.
Well, they have the 500 singles wrestlers ranked, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
Those two aren't singles wrestlers.
They're not. So that list must be shit.
How many singles matches have they really had in their career?
Not very many.
Oh my God, you're gonna laugh when I tell you who was ranked 39th.
Who?
Oh.
Marty Scurll.
Wow. Okay.
Hey, look, if there's anybody to get in between
them,
I guess that's a perfect person.
Dude, in 2018, they had Dolph Ziggler ranked 50th.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler is not a bad wrestler.
No, he's incredibly good. Who was number one this? Oh yeah, it was Kenny. Of course it was.
Always gonna be.
Styles was second. Okada was third. Lesnar was fourth. Rollins was fifth.
In all honesty,
that's a solid top five.
That is. In all honesty, though, like, when is the next time we're gonna see Kenny Omega like really do something fantastic?
He's probably only got one or two really good feuds left in him before he retires.
Come on, really?
Yeah, because I think he's doing more of the video game stuff now.
Yeah,
even
that's the only thing I can see him doing.
All right.
But, like, he loves wrestling.
So we're way off.
That's true.
We're talking about the Young Bucks here, guys.
My apologies. Sorry, got a little carried away there.
So please, let's not. We had an episode full of tangents that we just recorded. So for the love of all things professional wrestling, can we please stay on the topic at hand, which is Young Bucks Total Nonstop Action Wrestling?
All right. So, fair enough.
Thank you. So, In
I'd say
2009.
let's.
Oh God.
I was just gonna say we should start off with their first feud.
Their first feud in TNA was the Motor City Machine Guns, a tryout dark match.
Really?
Yes, that earned them the praise of TNA management, and Dixie Carter announced via Twitter that the Young Bucks had signed a contract, 1-year contract.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And so from there, they definitely feuded with. I feel like a lot of their in-ring style came from their matches with the Motor City Machine Guns.
I could believe that because the Motor City Machine Guns are excellent in the ring, and they tend to bring the best out of their opponents.
Way ahead of their time.
Who are the members of the Motor City Machine Guns?
Alex
Shelley and Chris Sabin.
Okay. Definitely heard of them too before.
Of course. And then they had they had some interesting. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I believe Alex Shelley most recently was on a taping in NXT. I believe he tagged with Kushida
as the Time Splitters
tournament. Yeah, the Time Splitters.
Cool.
So they were in TNA for about 2.5, 3 years. 2009 to 2011 for sure, and sporadically in 2013. Really, I think 2013 was a one-night thing because they had a lot of tapings that they did that they taped in 2013, but they didn't come out till a lot later.
So essentially, what TNA has historically done for the most part.
Yeah, they do their one-night only shows, and it's like, well, I thought Bobby Roode's in WWE. Well, it was filmed like 3 years ago.
So it had they never left.
Oh, but wait, let's talk about why they left.
It's the reason why everybody leaves TNA.
Oh no, see, you have to understand. Back in that time when TNA, they were really paying you per appearance, and so but you'd have to show up. So
of course, I mean, like that's any job.
No, it's not any job because even if you work in WWE, if you don't appear on the show and you show up, you get paid. So it's like this: you have to. Let's say you work at Target, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're a part-time worker at Target. You're only supposed to work 3 days a week, but you have to show up and stay for 8 hours all 7 days, even if you're not at work and not get paid.
I mean, I wouldn't show up for those other days.
Or you'd be fired.
You're not paying me. Why am I showing up?
And if you're not showing up, you would get fired.
Always get paid what you're worth.
Well, they were really young when this was their first big contract. And from my experience in the music business, everybody's first contract is kind of fucked up.
I don't know about that because they were more than recently working with Ring of Honor in the same era.
In 2009?
Yeah, it was 2009 to 2018. That was their longest stint.
Their first TV deal was terrible.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, to be honest, though, ask yourself this. If you're not working with WWE, are your TV appearances really going to be great? Unless you're in New Japan. You're in New Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, Ring of Honor.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, Ring of Honor wasn't, like, really great with their TV appearances back then.
But this is back when, like, their TNA's TV work was actually okay. It was starting to dive, but it was still kind of okay.
It was okay because like they were approaching the Hulk Hogan era, like that's the fearful for me in the Young Bucks staying in TNA. So it's like you have to think about, all right, so the first feud, right? It's the Motor City Machine Guns. During that time, what tag teams were really like super relevant
Team
that
3D.
they could have had excellent match? Team 3D.
Rock and Raven
TNA,
Infection.
In TNA in 2008?
Yeah.
You
have what's it called? You
Triple
have
X.
Bad Influence.
They weren't a team back then.
We're in
they weren't a team
TWG.
Are you sure?
back then.
Kazarian and Christopher Daniels?
Steen and Generica would have been in PWG in this time.
Oh, we're talking about TNA, right?
Yeah, they were a tag team in
TNA.
2011.
TNA, not.
Yeah,
PWG.
so I want to say that Triple X maybe was still a thing. So that was Daniels, Loki, and Elix Skipper.
Loki was
Let's
interesting.
see.
Who
You
else
guys
was
obviously
tag
already
team?
said the Motor City Machine Guns.
LAX.
LAX.
Okay, yeah, that's right. They were.
Was Ink Inc. a thing then?
I believe they were.
So Ink Inc. But that wasn't the greatest tag team.
No.
Who else would have been around at the time?
Beer Money.
Beer Money. Okay, a Generation Me Beer Money feud would have been absolute money. Like, no pun intended.
Then they had Main Event Mafia and their various teamings.
Daniels and Kazarian.
Yeah, that's what I just said. That's Bad Influence.
I don't think there were a team.
Oh, is that?
That wasn't their name back then. They became a tag team in 2011 with Fortune. That was their first stint together.
Gotcha.
After Fortune, they became Bad Influence.
After Fortune, I believe. Let's see. Hold on. Let's go look at that.
Because Kazarian was with, I think, Kazarian was either with or just got away from Raven stable at that time.
So it was just they were Fortune, and then after that they were just Christopher Daniels and Kazarian, just regular. And then they got into a tag team around 2013 called Extraordinary Gentlemen's Organization.
I thought it was Bad
Independent
Influence.
Circuit. Bad Influence. That was when their tag. That was their tag team reign from 2012 to 2013.
Then there were Addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Was 3D still TNA in 2013?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So their tag team division was kind of rough around the edges, but they were still stacked.
I'm going to make a claim. I feel like if Generation Me or if the Young Bucks had stayed in, they would have never gotten rid of that 6-sided ring. Because those, I believe that they're such a crucial element towards TNA's ring presence that I feel like if they got rid of that 6-sided ring, it would have just been hurting the ratings. They would have seen that. Because when Hulk Hogan came around, they really didn't have much going for them other than, the regular stars of TNA. It started to become really like Dixie Carter. Really heavily surrounded by Dixie Carter.
But
what would have been the main thing? Because obviously TNA, if they had stayed in TNA, they could have helped round out the tag division and kept building it. How does that affect everything else?
So I think the reason they left is because they split them up after 2 months for no reason, and then they got back together again for no reason. And they would have to fly all the way out to Florida per the company. So the company will fly them out, and they'd have to sit there at work, but not work and not get paid because they weren't on TV.
It was pretty much the biggest waste of time.
Yeah.
It's the biggest waste of time.
So they were making zero money.
Man, to think of a time where the Young Bucks weren't making money is kind of strange.
And then the next year, and once they realized that, that was stupid, they made more money on the independents than they did working in TNA.
Yep.
Ring of Honor was pretty much where they got to be themselves.
Yeah, well, it was also their longest stint with a company was Ring of Honor.
I mean, that's because they pretty much were Ring of Honor at that point.
Yeah.
You go there and they if you were going to see a Ring of Honor show, you were going there for what? Daniel Bryan,
Tyler Black,
yeah,
Kevin Steen. You were going to see El Generico,
Adam Cole, the Young Bucks,
Samoa Joe.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just you were going to see those guys, and definitely Young Bucks were on your mind.
Red Dragon. Dragon was around at the time. The Briscoes.
I love the Briscoes, by the way.
I do
Absolutely
too.
Amazing.
They had some really good matches with the Young Bucks. I feel like the middle of Ring of Honor's presence. So let's say 2009 through 2012, 2013, and even later, their matches with the Briscoes built that division.
Can I get the Young Bucks versus the Briscoes versus the Usos?
Yes. Oh yeah,
please.
Hold on. Versus the New Day.
They're not brothers though.
They're not, but that would still be a great match.
True.
A fatal 4-way. Big E and Xavier Woods.
Oh, so Xavier's taking the pin? No.
Ouch.
That's called.
I mean, y'all don't know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have to eat the pin, wouldn't
He'd
he?
eat the pin.
You
Of
know-
all the people in
Damn.
that ring, he'd
You
eat the
don't
pin.
know. Every time they run with that configuration of anybody in Xavier's taking a pin.
Oh, you know who else was in the tag division in Ring of Honor in 2010?
Who?
Davey Richards and
The Wolf.
Yeah, the Wolf.
Eddie Edwards.
Eddie Edwards, thank you.
Damn.
That was stacked.
So you have all those tag teams. First off, we don't get the Young Bucks with any of those. And they're an integral part of Ring of Honor, especially in its early days.
But honestly, with that tag division, I don't think Ring of Honor would have missed the Young Bucks.
I don't either. But it's certainly hard to argue that it wouldn't have hurt.
It would have hurt,
especially looking at it through 2020, because hindsight's 2020. But
oh no, yeah, it for sure would have hurt. But you know who it would have hurt more?
The Young Bucks,
the Bullet Club,
the Bullet Club too.
Oh yeah,
I feel like, especially the 2015, 2016 version of Bullet Club would not have happened without the Bucks.
Omega and the Bucks were it was the elite. They were the original elite. So it's like they kind of ran that. But had they not shown up, probably would have got Kota Ibushi in the Bullet Club.
The Golden Lovers.
Yeah, we definitely would have got Golden Lovers in the Bullet Club.
But then you kind of shift attention away from having Kenny as the main focus.
Right. So we lose Kenny as a leader of the Bullet Club.
Probably. And especially because after AJ Styles leaves, you have to have somebody who you can depend on. And at the time, it would
probably be Tama Tonga.
No, because Guerrillas of Destiny were still feuding with Chaos.
Yeah, so I think
would have been the leader.
But the whole goal is to not break up a tag team and make one the leader and one not the leader. So you wouldn't put Tonga in that position because he's part of the Guerrillas of Destiny.
I don't know who you would have put at the time. Okay, so when did Omega?
Did AJ Styles leave the Bullet Club?
It had to have been 2015, right? Or very early 2016, because he debuted at the Rumble in 2016.
Yeah, at the end of 2015.
Yeah,
I believe what 2015 was also his match with Shinsuke. Didn't that happen directly after that?
So who would have been? I mean, yeah, without the Young Bucks, you don't get you get Kota Ibushi, and that takes away from
Jeff Jarrett,
Kenny. No.
Oh God, no.
I forgot.
I almost feel like you would have had to have some kind of angle where, Okada as a leader of Bullet Club would be nuts.
Oh yeah, that would have been dope.
So and also you don't get as big of an interest in New Japan in between 2014 and 2016 because the Young Bucks got Adam Cole in Bullet Club. Their way of marketing, in a way, brought a lot of American fans, along with Kenny, to New Japan. And you don't get that big boom of American fans watching Wrestle Kingdom.
And you know what else you don't get?
Huh?
You don't get Being the Elite.
Yeah.
Which means you don't get AEW.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because that was, I think,
they were integral.
Yeah.
They met that their relationship with Cody is what
sparked that.
And spite, but spite towards Meltzer. But
and the only thing that could even come close to stirring that would have been Cody. Didn't Cody have a small stint in TNA?
Yeah, for a couple of months
after he left for a couple of months.
That would have been the only time that they would have met.
If they had never left, yeah.
Before that point, that would have been the only time that they would have met, and I don't think they would have gotten that same connection.
I don't know.
They would have been spending the time with the American Nightmare.
But that's the thing. You don't know. So when I say they never left TNA, they would have still been active in Ring of Honor for the times where TNA and Ring of Honor were on good terms.
So until 2013.
Yeah. So they would have missed each other in Ring of Honor.
But we still don't get the New Japan stuff, which is arguably where a lot of their influence and
We'd get
success.
a little bit.
That's true.
Because TNA
But even still,
and
well, you get it at War of the Worlds.
yeah. The only issue is that even still, you wouldn't get being the elite, which is still the bridge between them.
Yeah, you definitely you definitely don't get the American boom.
Yeah, because like the thing is that being the elite is the thing that led to AEW. All right, it's what led them to All In.
Mm-hmm.
It's what led them to Double or Nothing.
All Out.
It's what led to Double or Nothing, because All Out came after AEW was already a thing, I believe.
Say what I said.
Even still, like the Young Bucks are so integral to where AEW is right now, because just them being placed. It's kind of like the butterfly effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go back in time, you mess up one thing, and it just completely destroys the entire timeline.
Right. Well,
So
and also
back,
you don't get the connections that the Young Bucks had over their 15 years.
Precisely. So it creates this kind of paradox for wrestling, where had they not left TNA completely and decided never to go back, will we be anywhere where we're at right now in the wrestling world?
No, definitely not. I mean, the Bullet Club would not have been as huge, not even close.
So that's interesting. I feel so if they never would have left TNA, they probably would have, in some form or another, ended up in WWE.
Yeah,
probably. I mean, they had a tryout in 2011.
Yeah, but still, no. I think Hardy would have brought him over, like
probably.
Tesla was saying earlier.
Yeah,
it makes way too much sense.
Because I mean, at that time, Ring of Honor was very much not a threat. Not, and it never really has been. But
Still
its popularity in 2015 was a little bit scary, but I mean, not a whole lot.
Its talent was a scary thing.
So here's the thing: if they would have sold their own merchandise instead of going through Pro Wrestling Tees, they would have been a threat.
Yeah,
that's part of the reason WWE is so big, is because they do everything.
Right.
I feel like it's still a crime that ROH has not joined Twitch.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I'm not a huge Twitch guy.
You gotta understand, Twitch is a huge platform, and it's very good for companies, especially like that, because they can get ad revenue.
Yeah.
Okay, when I think about Twitch,
they can have subscribers.
When I think Twitch, I still think like Tick, whatever. But yeah, they definitely would have eventually made it TNA, and they WWE, and they probably would have gotten upset and left.
I think here's the thing though. In some ways though, they could have ended up in New Japan had they stayed in TNA. Because you got to remember, one of the reasons why they got into New Japan in the first place was Okada. They became friends with Okada in TNA.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Like, we can't rule out everything, because like you can't say, Cody and the Young Bucks might not have had the same connection, but who knows, like Okada was in TNA for a blink of an eye, and they eventually made their way to New Japan. So like, you don't know.
Yeah, but that blink of an eye was enough to spark a friendship.
So was Cody. So would have Cody and the Young Bucks, and that could have sparked the friendship as well.
Maybe, because we don't know how their friendship started.
So if we say,
because we also don't get Cody in Bullet Club, or we get Cody in Bullet Club, but we don't have the Bucks in Bullet Club,
which would be a crime.
And the relationship with Cody and the Bucks was built through Bullet Club, not through TNA.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, this is all what ifs. Like, we don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's
we give the best with the knowledge that we can find out. We give the best analysis that we can.
I'd say best case scenario. What was that WrestleMania where the Hardy Boys came back?
2017.
WrestleMania 2017, WrestleMania 33. Instead of the Hardy Boys, it would have been the Young Bucks.
Oh. Ooh.
Interesting.
in a ladder match. Can you imagine
So
everyone
what was
losing
it?
their
It was Enzo and Cass, the Bar. Else there was one more
shit? Was it the
because it was a
Usos?
4-way. Was it the Usos?
It had to be the Usos if
New
New
Day
Day
was hosting.
yeah, if New Day was hosting, it had to be the Usos.
Yeah, and then they brought the Hardys back. It might have been the Usos,
I'm googling it right now.
Yeah, same.
but I mean, if you bring the Bucks into that match instead of the Hardys, do they win the title?
Of course.
And also, do the Young Bucks get as big in WWE as they were, or presumably would have been in TNA?
That's why you put
Because I feel like they would have been big in TNA. I don't
It was
think that's
Luke
a question.
Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Gallows and Anderson. That was it. Okay.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, would they have been as big in WWE if you put the belts on them? Like,
Absolutely. If they put the belts on them out the gate, Young Bucks will be stars.
if you debut at WrestleMania and they put the belts on you, bro.
That's like an instant. That's instant buzz.
I mean,
right there.
I don't know because they didn't really do a whole ton with the Hardy Boys after that.
Because they
did
were
it,
old.
but yeah.
I mean, granted, the Hardys did all of their big work pre WWE or pre 2017.
And you also got to remember that they just came out of a ladder match the night before.
Yeah, at Ring of Honor.
Yeah, so they just came out of a ladder match. Didn't Jeff Hardy get hurt?
Yeah. But he's always hurt.
Again, if you want to hear my thoughts on that, go listen to the worst of the 2010s. It's all there.
Absolutely excellent. I'm telling you, go listen to it.
So yeah, like I mean, Jeff Hardy's always hurt, and honestly, I don't know of the Young Bucks being like that injured, despite the style they wrestle.
They've had a couple stints where Nick was pretty badly injured.
No, I think it was Matt. Matt was the one that was injured. Matt, I think, hurt his back. Surprisingly.
And
which is weird because Nick wrestles the much more dangerous style.
And it's a testament.
You also got to remember Matt's the older one.
It's a testament to how well they are, how good of wrestlers they are, that they haven't been hurt more than they have. And we're just gonna stick a little pause right here. We're gonna talk about Anchor. When we get back, we'll do a little bit more what if scenarios on the Young Bucks and their contract situation, and we'll just touch on anything we haven't touched on this episode
that we can think of.
Yeah, that we can think of, because it's a what if episode, and we're just like spinning our little wheels here trying to figure out what would have happened if possibly the greatest tag team of the 2010s had not have left one of the worst promotions of 2010.
Yep.
All right, so we're back with part 2 of our what if episode, our what if Young Bucks episode, and now we're just gonna mess around with some fantasy bookings here because we can, and I think we could have done a lot better than TNA did back in the time period in which we're talking about.
It feels like this era of Impact is such a raw and visceral era because of how much was going on. And the best place to start it is right after their debut in 2010 when Hulk Hogan took over.
God almighty.
This is the roughest era of TNA's history, hands down.
No argument here.
And not to steal from our boy Adam Blumhead, I think we can book it better.
Oh, most definitely.
So this is okay. So if I'm not mistaken, this is the Dixie Carter era.
I thought you were about to say Dick Circuit
with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, this is the terrible era.
Okay.
I thought you were about to say Dick Circuit.
I mean, that's pretty much what it was. It was just Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair and Eric Bischoff waving their dicks around.
And Rob Van Dam, and
he's still being terrible with the company now. It's really bad.
You gotta give him props though. Give him props.
Dude, he has like a on-screen girlfriend with the fake ass.
Hey, look, if it's entertainment.
If it's entertainment, I guess.
I can't even take myself seriously saying that. It's awful.
It's not entertainment.
Dude, it feels like diva era wrestling.
And her implants look boxy, and that's the worst part. So you remember that one episode of SpongeBob where he's shaking his ass and they're like two little rectangles and they're moving up and down?
Oh my God.
You talking about the Krusty Krab pizza?
Yeah, so she looks like Krusty Krab
Jesus.
pizza SpongeBob when she gets on stage and twerks.
Stop.
Dude, it's the twerking Krusty Krab pizza, not the soulful one.
Yeah, the twerking one. Her name is Katie Forbes.
And her ass is as flat as a Forbes magazine.
No, it's bad, guys.
It's as boxy as a stack of magazine. I don't actually mean that. I feel bad for saying that.
Man, you're gonna get shit.
From who? From who?
Who is listening? No, I'm playing.
Wow.
Hey, look, if you're listening, let us know.
Listen, who's gonna give you a mess for talking about a bad implant job?
Cancel culture on Twitter.
I don't give a fuck.
That'll come back to bite me in about 12 years.
But like, okay. Can I just say, if we're gonna do something, let's do it well. If we don't have enough money to do something well, let's not do it.
Truth.
That is true.
Like,
and if you do have the money to do it, make sure you're getting a good job and getting it done. You know?
Because I mean, it's like, it's not like a podcast where we can like improve our quality as we go along.
That's very true.
Really bad.
All right. So let's dive into some stuff.
So, all right. So let's first talk about Young Bucks. What were they doing in 2010?
And also, let's preface by saying we're not getting rid of the Dixie Carter, Hogan, Bischoff era. That's not what this is. We have to work within the time frame.
Yeah.
So, if we're putting that in, they were doing jack shit. So to change that, we're actually going to book them.
Yeah. So
let's talk about the first night that they got there.
Hold on,
the first night that Hogan showed up.
Again, part of the reason why they left is because they'd fly them out and they would get paid per TV appearance, but they'd never be on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
So they were there.
It made no sense. They saw everything go down.
All of it.
And it's just, it makes no sense for them to just sit on the sideline when you have two of the brightest workers just doing nothing, sitting in catering, you know? And we don't even know if they had catering.
They probably did.
I don't know if they had catering. I would hope they had catering.
It's like, it just, you have to book them. We have to book them in something.
This is terrible. I found Katie Forbes' Instagram. She's dancing on Instagram, and every time I see her dance, I just think of the Krusty Krab Soulful song. Krusty Krab.
Yeah, pizza. It is the pizza, yeah. I'm not going to do
this
that.
Just in, Fez Lowdahl is releasing a new album upcoming. You guys should pay attention.
Yeah, it's gotta be. It's
the mixtape is coming soon.
Okay, so when did Bischoff and so I see they were hired in October of 2009, but when did they move to on screen?
I believe it was shortly after that. Yeah, it's like they started in the new year, you know, like when it kicked off, like that was
the new decade, if you will.
Yeah,
and then
pretty much. Yeah,
and then they tried to go head to head with. They tried to go
with Monday Night Raw.
That shit was terrible.
So like we
stop watching the video.
I'm not watching the video.
Okay.
I'm watching another one. Ha!
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is what if Jay was paying attention.
Yeah.
Am I? No, I'm sorry.
Nah.
They came in. So what do we do with the Young Bucks here? Of course, we put them with 3D. Like, we have a new school versus old school feud.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Tables, ladders, and chairs matches. Just yeah. Okay.
So give us Motor City Machine Guns.
Hold on. Before we do anything, if we're starting off the Hogan era, the first thing we're changing: 6-sided ring.
Brother.
Yes, that stays.
6-sided ring. That stays. We're not changing that.
Brother. Leave the 6-sided ring, brother.
Promise I'm not a racist.
We didn't know he was a racist.
That's gonna be written on his tombstone. Promise I'm not a racist.
I know I said what I said, but I'm not a racist.
I'm not a racist.
Like, wait, I know I said what I said, but I'm still not a racist.
It's gonna be like Richard Nixon. I'm not a crook. I'm not a racist.
Even though I said what I said, it does not make me a racist.
does not make me racist. I promise you. Scotty, believe me.
Just do it.
Believe me, brother.
Believe, brother. So
I know it sounds really effed up, but seriously, I'm not. Also, can I just say that all of our Hogan voices are one burp away from being Rick Sanchez?
Brother.
They're all about one good burp away from just being Rick Sanchez. And
Brother.
Morty episode. Morty.
No, brother.
Jay's over here. He's about one good bub away from being Wolverine.
Bub.
Hey, bub.
Here, bub.
We're off topic.
we're
All right.
way off.
So what do we do? So we have the 3D matches. Okay, so first things first.
So
is who
3D
is tag
and
team champion
3D and Saban.
2016.
3D and don't leave out the Motor City Machine Guns.
Right.
It's like you have a great representation of then, now, and
Forever?
upcoming. No,
Then,
not
now,
WWE.
forever?
No, then, now, and who's next? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not Goldberg. Who's next?
No, that's not Goldberg. That's a TikTok thing.
All right. So
TNA Tag Team
I'm not
Champions
actually
2010.
positive who was tag team 2010. Let's find out, shall we? Let me mute myself because otherwise you're gonna hear this.
I got it. I already got it.
You already got it.
all right,
You already got it.
So
Cool.
it
I don't have to do shit.
looks like the tag teams were vacated on June 14th for whatever reason. That's weird.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going down the whole list. Funny. So the TNA Tag Team Champions only existed 3 years before because they were using the NWA belts.
Okay, so this is what we do. Instead of
Okay.
going through, since they were vacated, why don't we run a tournament?
So, Matt Morgan, what kind of shit? That's one person.
What? Wait, Matt Morgan was the tag team champions by himself?
Yeah, so I guess it was Hernandez and Matt Morgan. And then
Okay.
Matt Morgan beat the shit out of Hernandez and made himself the only member of the tag team champions.
What? I don't remember that.
I remember that.
Okay, so can we do the tournament and we'll just focus on the Young Bucks' match?
Okay, but after that, it was the band of Eric Young, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall.
God, kill me. That sounds awful.
So Eric Young and Kevin Nash. I don't think Scott Hall was a part of the match. He definitely wasn't.
That just sounds like terrible.
So let me get you to honestly, it was vacated on the 14th. The band was stripped of the championships due to Scott Hall's legal problems. The episode was aired on a tape delay. Then there was a tournament. It was Beer Money and Motor City Machine Guns in the finals.
Oh, okay.
And Beer Money won, I assume.
No, Motor City Machine Guns won, and they took it all the way to 2011, which is perfect.
All right.
That
So the
can't
Motor
be
City
right.
Machine Guns are champions during this time?
Yes.
Okay. So
That
that's
can't
a
be
good.
right.
How so?
Because I'm looking at a thing that says that they made their debut in January 14th, and then at the next pay-per-view, which was Destination X, they wrestled for #1 contendership
Who?
and were defeated by the Motor City Machine Guns.
Who?
The Bucks.
Yeah.
So the Motor City Machine Guns are champions. This is what we're all agreed
Yes,
on,
they are.
right?
I thought you were saying before the Bucks debuted, they were champions.
No.
No.
Okay, makes more sense now.
So, all right. So Motor City Machine Guns are champions going into 2011. Perfect.
Right, and we don't change that. We leave.
Yeah, we don't change that.
We
That
leave the
stays the same.
Bucks. We leave the Bucks vying for, or Generation Me, as they were called at this time. We leave them as #1 or as going against the Motor City Machine Guns for #1 contendership. Motor City Machine Guns win. We leave
All
that
right.
there. That's fine.
So that's perfect. So right now we're dealing with the 3D and Young Bucks feud.
Right.
Right.
So coming out of that feud, how do we see the first match going? Like, what is the match? We should talk about that first. So, what's the match stipulation? Is it just a regular tag team match?
Just a regular tag match, and you probably, because of the way that TNA was at the time, or at least from it sounds like from you guys, where it was Hogan very much pushing the WWE guys and not quite so much of the TNA guys.
Mm-hmm.
We probably have 3D win the first match, right? We have to work within the superstructure at the time.
That seems fair.
But because they're the Young Bucks, they get this natural like from the crowd, where they start to want to see them win more and more. Whatever the next pay-per-view is, what would that be? No Surrender, it looks like.
Okay.
They were on pay-per-view, and we go away from this because they challenged the Motor City Machine Guns for the title. We don't do that yet.
Yeah.
We put them in. We keep them in this feud with 3D first,
let's start that from the bottom.
Can I just stop and say my downstairs neighbor sucks?
Oh.
What? Why?
He's bumping right now. He's bumping his music right now, and I can see it affecting my waveform.
Oof.
So I just want to get up and A-Town stomp real quick.
Do your thing, Jay. We're doing it live. We're doing it live.
Yeah.
No, I want to hear this. We're doing it live.
I actually want to hear it. Go.
All right. Damn, shut the hell up.
Let them know. Let them know, Jay.
Did y'all hear
Burn it down.
Yeah.
And it went down a little bit.
Good. That's how we do it on the Second Turnbuckle podcast.
Right.
When we want something, we make it happen.
Why does your music need to be that loud?
If I can hear it in my household, it's too loud.
It's I can feel it in my feet.
Oh no, that's way too loud.
Right.
Wow.
You might as well just have the speaker in your room at that point.
True.
Right, I had a guitar amp. I just want to point it at the ground and just blast the jellyfish song from SpongeBob down there. That'd be dope.
And by the way, we don't split fucking Young Bucks.
No, not at all.
No,
because I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this, and it looks like in 2011, they split them for some reason.
Yeah, it was I remember that storyline.
So one of them went against Kazarian.
I remember that. He turned it back up. I remember that storyline. It was it wasn't a hard split. It was more of a soft split, like a brotherly rivalry type split. So it wasn't a very hard split.
But yeah, even still, we don't let that happen. Those two stay their tag team because that's where they excel.
Well, of course, I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to let y'all know.
I'm
just giving y'all the facts.
Yeah, it's a soft split. It's not like a super hard.
Gotcha.
It's louder.
Did they?
Oh God, I want to move.
Did they turn
the
volume up?
Yeah.
Oh, and also we don't have this stupid empty arena match. Yeah, we have those now.
That was pretty stupid.
We have those now.
You remember when that was a match stipulation and not a way of life?
Yeah.
It was like the
arena match for a Young Bucks title fight anyway. We run this feud up until January, let's just say 2011. Right. And the Motor City Machine Guns have gone against other people. I'm looking up here Robbie E and Cookie. We get Jay Lethal and Velvet Sky.
Robbie Lee and Cookie is
that.
not that's an intergender tag team.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Cookie is Cookie was a ripoff of Snooki.
No, they were actually from Jersey Shore. Both of them. They were on the show.
Really?
So they were like a parody type team.
No, they were literally being themselves.
Oh, that's funny.
And now Robbie E is working in WWE as Robert Stone.
Ah.
So there you go.
Well, anyway,
that's what he's doing.
Regardless of whoever it is, we put the Bucks in a feud against.
I could be wrong about that. I would have looked that up.
What, Cookie on Jersey Shore?
No, Robbie Stone. Am I right about that?
No, you're right.
I don't know.
Then that's Robert Stone.
Okay.
We eliminate that crap. So we keep them in a feud with 3D for a while. Obviously, at the end of it, you've got to have some kind of hardcore match, right?
I'm wrong. He was not on Jersey Shore.
No. They weren't. I'm trying to tell you they weren't on Jersey Shore. They were just like rip. So Robbie E was like the first sort of rip off of the Jersey Shore, and then that's when.
Oh, I'm absolutely wrong about that.
And then that's when WWE
Whoopsie.
brought Cookie in or Snooki in, and so they had a cookie.
That's funny.
Because like this was the time where you had two WWE guys, two wrestling guys who did a lot in WWE, try to come to WWE, and and met and compete with them, and they did it the best way they know how, and that's WCW type bullshit. So
I mean, that's kind of fair considering who took over.
yeah, so of course you're gonna have like a Snooki and a Cookie and all that shit,
Dumb shit like that.
because that's what they know.
That's all they know how to do. Just honestly, they didn't have any direction during this time.
And so, like, we had a really good idea. Let's move forward a little bit. Yeah, the Bucks win titles. That's what they do.
Right.
No. Like, I'm saying, well, first, we haven't even gotten to the second match between 3D. We're still working on that feud.
I mean, so that's a tables match, of course.
Tables match. We go with that, and we say the Bucks win.
Barely,
Right.
though.
The Bucks
Barely,
win.
just barely.
Bucks win due to like, let's say Bubba Ray steps through a table.
No, because we can't give them. Listen, they're young, but we cannot like deny their prowess in the ring.
No. So
Right.
no. But Devon's going
let's
through a
say-
table hard way though.
Or no, you know what? Let's make it a ladder match. And then we do the
No.
tables match as the third one.
No, because the ladder match has to.
Or
the ladder
TLC.
match is the last one. We make the ladder match, and we make that for number one contendership.
No,
for the
so
belt.
no. So what happens is, because the Dudleys won the first one, they get to pick a stipulation. So it's a tables match.
Yes.
Okay.
So like
Bucks
Bubba,
win it, but barely.
yeah, Bubba Ray steps to a table, and then it looks like they're setting up for something, but sunset flip off the top rope through a table.
Sure.
I can see that. Yeah.
So like they just barely make it out.
And then the last one, it has to be a ladder match.
The Bucks choose that, but we'll say management, Hulk Hogan. No, we'll say Eric Bischoff does this, and he makes it a number one contenders match for the tag belts.
Sure.
So whoever wins that goes on, and I say we let 3D win. We don't give the
Okay.
Bucks that just yet.
Let's make it a beer ladders and chairs match and put beer money in there.
No.
Because I would rather have Beer Money be the number one contender. So instead of them being the number one contender for, what would it have been? Like Final Resolution would have been in what? It was in December. So instead of Generation Me and Motor City Machine Guns, we have Motor City Machine Guns versus Beer Money.
Who wins that though?
Probably beer
Motor City
money.
Machine Guns stays.
All right, so we keep Motor City Machine Guns, and let's say we start the Fortune faction, right?
Yes. So that would have been right because Fortune started what 2011.
Yeah, so it started 2011. Well, yeah, so that's
We'll keep
perfect
that
timing.
the same.
So we get Fortune. We'll
Okay, and
actually
for
we'll
who-
start Fortune, and we'll actually listen. We'll start Fortune a year early in 2010, and we'll say Ric Flair comes in and he already has his team ready, and it's Beer Money, and
Wasn't it Styles and beer
Kazarian
money?
and yes, it was Styles, Beer Money, and Kazarian.
Was that Fortune?
Yeah,
Okay. Just for people to have.
Wasn't that
and
Immortal?
Mainly me.
Wasn't that Immortal? No, they combined.
No. Hold on one second. So Fortune.
I really don't know. This is on you guys.
Yeah, I know. I'm bringing it up right now. So the team is Ric Flair, AJ Styles, James Storm, Kazarian, and Robert Roode.
Okay.
So that's them. The group was modeled and named after Flair's former alliance, of course, the Four Horsemen. And the group later also came to include Christopher Daniels, Douglas Thomas, Rob Terry, and Matt Morgan. So
Douglas
I say-
Thomas. Who the fuck is that?
Yeah. Douglas Thomas? Doug Williams?
Oh, Doug Williams. Okay. Said Douglas
Oh
Thomas.
shit. Okay.
And not Doug Williams.
Yeah, that was his name in TNA. So I say we also add in Christopher Daniels into this group.
Might as
So it's
well.
AJ Styles, James Storm, Kazarian, Robert Roode, and Ric Flair. So it's all of them, and that's Fortune.
Okay.
So that gives us the main heels in the team, or main heels on the roster. And
Right.
because they lost their match, we also have Hulk Hogan with Immortal, and Immortal was what?
Body else.
Immortal TNA.
Right, and then
It pretty much was. It was Eric Bischoff, Hulk Hogan, Abyss, Jeff Hardy, Jeff Jarrett, and yeah, it was pretty much everyone else. So I say we instead of doing Eric Bischoff, Hulk Hogan, Abyss, Jeff Hardy, and pretty much the entire roster, it becomes Hulk Hogan, Abyss, Jeff Hardy, and the Bucks.
I thought we had an agreement.
What? What was the agreement?
I thought we were going a different direction with that.
yeah, we're not. Let's not.
Well, but you still have to have these major factions because that's history. Like
Okay,
that,
okay. Hey.
we're not changing that timeline.
So-
we have to stick within that.
So
that
I
parameter.
don't think Abyss would be a good fit for Jeff Hardy in the Bucks.
Okay, so who do we switch him out for?
Matt Morgan.
I hate it every time you do that. Why did you just say this man's name?
Because that was my first introduction to the band.
Matt Morgan. It sounds like he sounds like Glenn after he got bashed in the skull by Lucille.
Damn. Okay.
Maggie. Like,
Nah, that's messed up.
Hey, look.
Fucked up.
hey, look.
Listen,
am I
hold on,
wrong?
really quickly.
I mean, you're not wrong, but it's still a little fucked up.
Really
You're gonna
quickly.
say too soon.
Really quickly. Yeah, still too
All
soon.
right,
Really quickly,
gentlemen, let's get back.
Really quickly. We're not making fun of people with speech impediments. We're just showing you how bad WWE's booking was back in 2004.
Right.
Exactly. Not making fun of anybody but WWE at this
I'll make
point.
fun of my friend's speech impediment, but nobody else. But because he's my friend.
Who has a speech
That's
impediment?
why I went for Glenn, because he clearly had a reason to have a speech impediment.
Yeah, he did take a bad. He did just have his head caved.
My
in.
God.
Right. His head was kind of bashed in a little bit. Seemed to
All
have
right.
be a reason for it.
And
That's a
so
decent
we
reason.
have Ric Flair. What now?
That's a decent reason.
So I gotta ask, are you guys okay with the Young Bucks being a part of Immortal?
Yeah.
with
No,
Matt
because I
Morgan.
have a different thing. I would say the Young Bucks go against Ric Flair's. Go up against Fortune, and Ric Flair costs the Young Bucks. Excuse me, I accidentally muted myself.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did.
The Young Bucks go against Fortune, and why? Because Ric Flair costs them to give his friend WWE friends 3D the chance against Motor City Machine Guns.
But here's the thing, Ric Flair doesn't really have a history with 3D.
But I'm turning it into like, if we're gonna have these WWE guys come in, make an angle out of it.
Yes, but you also have to think about this. What Fortune was just Ric Flair managing a bunch of new and up and coming stars, or like
okay.
Yeah.
the best of the best in WWE.
Okay. So
If you're
then
gonna
we
put
ally.
into a team-
Okay, then let's do this. They go against Immortal, and Hulk Hogan costs Generation Me the title. So then
That
the
wouldn't make
Bucks
sense because
go
he's
with
the face
Fortune.
in there.
Yeah, that make more
The
sense.
thing is that we keep 3D by themselves.
Yes, we don't put them in a stable because no.
Because didn't 3D come back with EV?
Well, actually, they would end up going to Aces and Eights.
Was
yeah,
it?
so we're
Was
gonna
it
we're gonna
Evie?
keep Aces. Evie?
Like
Well, what
like original
Evolution or something
violence?
like that?
No, like yeah.
Oh yeah,
Evolution of Violence or something?
yeah. They weren't. That was like Tommy Dreamer 3D and
Mick Foley,
RVD.
maybe? RVD, yeah.
Oh yeah, and Mick Foley, because Mick Foley came in as well.
God, it was
Oh
just fucking
yeah,
terrible.
he did, didn't he?
And we have to keep that in as well.
Yeah.
We're not we're not
I
gonna
imagine this.
We're
this
not gonna
lasts
book-
us sometime.
we're not gonna book that long, getting long in itself.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. We'll just give the general idea. So we fast forward a couple years to the creation of Aces and Eights. I think that's the next logical step.
Right.
And Immortal continues growing in power.
No, Immortal's
Fortune
dead by
loses
then.
members, which happened in real
Oh yeah,
life.
Immortal's dead by then.
Immortal and Fortune are dead by then. So like this gives us the opportunity to stick the Bucks with AJ Styles.
Yes.
So
Okay,
are
that's
we
a
in
fair
agreement
point.
that AJ Styles never leaves TNA?
No.
Yeah. And again, disclaimer: I was not watching TNA, so if
So,
I say
like-
something that's wrong,
So like I think
their job is to bring me back down.
I think at this point, if AJ leaves and the Bucks leave, that's cool.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Let's take them out and let's put them full-time ROH
Right.
after this point. So they stay in there till about what, 2014?
Let's stay in there until their rivalry with Addiction and the Hardy Boys. And the Hardy Boys brings them in WWE.
Okay.
Because they've worked with the Hardy Boys in TNA before. They worked with Jeff Hardy
Right.
in TNA. Matt Hardy was in TNA off and on then too. So like eventually these guys end up in WWE.
Well, so when do the Bucks leave TNA?
When AJ Styles
After the
goes
fallout
to
of Aces and Eights?
when AJ Styles goes to New Japan. So basically what happens
So
when
2014.
Yeah, so what happened with the AJ Styles thing is he said, I'm gonna take this belt and I'm gonna defend it wherever.
Right.
So let's have them leave then too.
Yeah. It makes the most sense. So we have them
Yeah.
leave as well.
Especially if we after the dissolution of Fortune and Immortal, when we put the Bucks with, or Generation Me with Styles, it makes sense that once Styles goes, so does Generation Me.
Right.
And this is where they start to make their name on the indie scene.
Mm-hmm. They go to Ring of Honor full time, and I do not. We do not change anything in Ring of Honor.
Hold on.
Actually, we do have to change one thing.
No, we have to change the whole thing, because wasn't the whole point of this is what happens if Bucks never left TNA?
Well, I mean,
they had a working relationship.
Yeah, they
but
did
we
have
would
a
know
working
that they could
relationship.
never go to Japan. So the only thing we have to change is that they do not join Bullet Club, and they do not make Adam Cole join Bullet Club.
So what I would suggest doing instead of doing that is have the Bucks win the tag titles and have them defend the tag titles across the world with our
Okay.
No, because we get that at War of the Worlds. So I would have.
Okay.
What would be? Let's just say Gorillas of Destiny versus the Young Bucks at War of the Worlds 2014. So instead, 2015. 14. We're in 2014. 2014. Because 2015, at 2015, not War of the Worlds, but 2015 was when they joined Bullet Club. So instead of, obviously we have the Bucks retain at War of the Worlds. We don't give Gorillas of Destiny at the time. And instead of the Young Bucks in Bullet Club feuding against Jay Lethal and Colt Cabana, we have Jay Lethal join Bullet Club and turn on Colt Cabana and the Bucks.
Okay.
And then that way we have a Bullet Club with Jay Lethal and Gorillas of Destiny versus Colt Cabana and the Young Bucks at Bound for Glory.
All right, I can see that.
Because we have to change that. That era of Ring of Honor was heavily defined by the Bucks being in Bullet Club. I mean, we don't get that whole super kick party either.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Super kick party was low key like the thing.
Yeah.
I believe the Young Bucks were the beginning of memes helping wrestlers.
Yes.
Because
they turned wrestling into a cultural shift.
And it was a good shift because it put it into the eye of the internet, and everybody starts to remember, hey, wrestling's actually kind of fun, which is something that it's been lacking for quite some time, or was lacking for quite some time. So it's like they were responsible for that boom in the views in wrestling. So like you can say what you want about their wrestling styles, but they did set the world ablaze.
Yeah. So, and then we get to 2016, the various feuds that they had that aren't, or they can still be involved, but they can't have the Bullet Club angle. So we can still have the Briscoes. We just have them be regular faces, not aligned with Bullet Club.
Yeah.
We have things with Future Shock, so Adam Cole and not Bobby Fish, the other one.
Kyle O'Reilly.
Or Kyle O'Reilly, excuse me, not Roderick Strong.
Okay.
And we have all those, and that carries us to a retirement match. Let's just say a Fatal 4-Way.
Who's retiring?
The Bucks from Ring of Honor. Or you know what? We can't make it a retirement match because then it spoils the surprise of the Hardys bringing them over to WWE. So we have...
No, it doesn't, because that kind of just sounds like wrestling to me.
That's true.
Like them just doing a retirement match and then them moving on to WWE.
Right.
That sounds like wrestling.
So I believe that night
Let's do a
before
loser. Let's do a
WrestleMania
loser
33.
leaves towns match.
Yes.
Yeah, loser leaves are ROH.
So instead of the Hardys and the Bucks the day before Mania, so it would have been Supercard, right? Because Supercard is the Ring of Honor show that they play WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
So instead of the Bucks versus Matt and Jeff Hardy at Supercard, we have, I don't know, somebody else. Who?
Addiction was still there.
Sure. Just somebody that's not, because we want the Bucks lose, and Matt and Jeff lose. You know what? We make it an elimination, and the last person eliminated, the last team eliminated stays. Everybody else leaves Ring of Honor. So we get a fatal, or excuse me, we get a triple threat between Addiction, the Young Bucks, and the Hardy Boys, and the Young Bucks and the Hardy Boys retire. And then the next day, they both join the match at WrestleMania 33. So we have Enzo and Cass, we have the Hardy Boys, Young Bucks, The Bar, and Gallows and Anderson.
One of those teams got to go. Let's take Enzo and Cass out.
No, because at the time, if you remember, Enzo and Cass were actually on an upward tear, and this was right before we got the Universal title match, and Big Cass involved.
So yeah, I'd say if you're going to do that, have there be let's have like a appearance, a very rare appearance from Vince McMahon at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do is you have the New Day bring out the Young Bucks, that pops the crowd, and then as soon as they leave, that's when you hear the no chance, and Vince McMahon comes out, and then he brings out the Hardy Boys.
And also, we can have a little fight up on the ramp. Or you know what? We don't even have to have them in the match.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. How about we bring the Hardy Boys and pop them the night after Mania?
We could do that too. And then we get a Young Bucks versus Hardy Boys feud for the next couple months.
Yeah, I'd rather do that instead of bringing them both out in the same match.
Okay.
Okay, that works.
All right, so that works. That gives us a structure.
And then that way, so the problem with the Hardy Boys run in 2017, if I remember right, they didn't really face anybody.
Yeah.
Like of note. So this way, we get a brand new team in the Young Bucks, which the WWE hardcore fans know already because their time in Ring of Honor and TNA. And then we get a brand new, and then we pair them immediately with the Hardys, which the old fans and new fans of WWE know. So it gives them an immediate boost. Also, winning the titles the night before at WrestleMania doesn't hurt.
Yeah, so that's the
general idea.
We fixed two issues of the fantasy booking ending, and then the Hardys having something to do.
Yes. And then that way, so we can have the New Day in along with this. We can have the Bar versus the Young Bucks. Like, we have a lot of options here. And it's better than just... Because like, the Hardys never felt big in their 2017 run.
The Eaters of
Bucks
World feel
fresh.
The Eaters of Worlds felt better than the Hardys did, bigger than the Hardys did.
Yeah, exactly. And so the Bucks feel fresh, and we get these amazing quality, high octane matches with the Bar and with the New Day and the Usos.
And also, can I say this? From the jump, we get Broken Matt and Jeff Hardy, and we just give Matt creative freedom during this time.
Yes, and we and don't have Jeff Hardy just be Jeff. We make him Brother Nero.
Yeah, like this is one of those moments where we have to. We flex on that one. We change that up, and we give us Broken Matt from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
That way, Jeff stays out of trouble for the most part.
Right.
And everybody else gets along nicely.
Yeah, and I know they couldn't call it Broken Matt, and I know they had some trademark issues at the time.
Right, we'll do Woken Matt because that was so funny. I just remember the laughing.
Yeah, that was great.
Vanilla.
No, I'm just talking about the. They just get that for like 3 minutes.
We just have him laughing.
And like you don't even get music when they debut on the night after. It's just him laughing.
Also, can I just say that Woken Matt's theme, while basic, was still kind of good.
It was okay.
It was like, it fit.
But anyway, I actually think that's a good, because we can't like book them all the way to 2020. But that gives a solid starting point, and we've done our best to. I mean, first off, we fixed a lot of the problems with the Hardys and Mania 33 and the surrounding months. But we gave context to Ring of Honor and TNA, and we gave them some actual good things to do in TNA, other than just sit there and not be used, because that's insane. I'm sorry, Stupid. TNA. What the fuck thinking?
That was Dixie.
That was wholeheartedly Dixie.
I'm going to keep the comment that I was going to say to myself. I'm sure you can fill it in your own brain.
Well, this has been the second Turnbuckle Wrestling Podcast. First episode of the What If series.
I can breathe. That was good, though.
This was great. Let us know how you would have changed things, what you would have changed, and if you want to book the Hardys and the Bucks in WWE moving forward from where we left off, let us know. And if it's good, we might actually feature it on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we can, and if you just have little minor changes, or if you want to provide context to anything you heard, feel free.
Yeah, because we do that here.
We're not perfect.
I'm pretty close.
Sure.
All right, teach your own order then.
I mean, somebody had to. Anyway, again, thank you so much for listening to the Second Turnbuckle Podcast. This has been the first episode of our What If series. Stay tuned. We'll be having these drop periodically throughout season 2 and possibly into season 3. So thank you guys so much for listening, and you have a wonderful rest of your week.
You just finished listening to another fantastic episode of the Second Turnbuckle Wrestling Podcast. If you liked what you heard, go ahead and give us a follow on Anchor and favorite the podcast so you'll have an in-app notification when we upload. We are everywhere that you can listen to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Anchor does it all for us, so you guys get the content you want as quick as can be, with episodes like our review of Undertaker's The Last Ride, which don't end up on YouTube. Anchor exclusive. We upload to podcast distributions a day before YouTube. If you're listening on YouTube, go ahead and give us a subscribe and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a single upload. Follow us on Twitter at OG_STP, everything capital, on Instagram at OGSTP, everything lowercase, and on Facebook, just search the Second Turnbuckle Wrestling Podcast, and we'll be there for anything you may want to discuss on social media. Thanks you guys for listening. This is Captain, signing off.